So to all the people who like to write nasty comments on the internet to people they don't know, just because your life is miserable and sad doesn't mean you get to put down other people. I want you to take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror and notice that after you write that nasty comment, you're still miserable and lonely. So might I suggest going out and actually interacting with human beings? Maybe start with a therapist.
Now check that.
Hi lovelies, it's yours truly, Boosie, back with a brand new video. So if you're new to my channel, I just make relatable content around things young adults go through, as well as mental health and self-help. So if that's something you need in your life, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and check out my other videos. So now, on to today's video. So I'm still trying to find the footing of my channel, and I know that I want to make content that's relatable and content that's real. So today's video is a little bit different. It's going to be more of like a commentary. So as you guys know, I like to talk about, things we go through during adulthood and mental health. So I thought, why not talk about the mental health of young women in the public eye? And what brought upon this inspiration is something you guys have probably all heard about by now, but the New York Times has come out with a documentary on Hulu about Britney Spears called Framing Britney Spears. And it followed her from just being a small town girl with big dreams to actually reaching her dreams and reaching this absolute crazy stardom, but also all the things that she had to endure during that time and how the media treated her. So it made me think that we put so much pressure on celebrities, specifically women celebrities. And I think the documentary kind of highlighted the cruel reality of being a woman in the public eye. So the first thing I want to highlight, and that's probably the biggest problem that contributes to the apathy towards women celebrities, is the double standard in Hollywood. So there was an interview in the documentary, I think with Diane Sawyer, where she was asking Britney Spears, like, does she not feel guilty or responsible when parents are saying that she is a bad influence on their daughters, that she's too sexual and things of that nature, like she needs to be a better role model. And I am just so tired of this always being a thing. Like, for example, last year when WAP came out by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, so many people were coming out the woodwork saying like, oh my goodness, what is this gonna do to like young girls, all this stuff, but they don't have the same energy for male artists that talk or rap about the same things. Like, no, seriously think, have you ever heard someone be like,
oh gee, this could be a bad influence on my son,
when a male artist or rapper comes out with a very suggestive, very sexual song? No. But when a female artist does it, everybody loses their mind and they're like,
oh no, we have to protect our daughters. You're ruining our daughters' innocence.
And like I said, I'm just tired of that double standard. Because if we're being completely honest, a lot of these songs that are sung by women celebrities, women artists, a lot of the lyrics, even though they pertain to sex, are very progressive, very empowering, Like I said, for being completely honest, growing up, hearing some of these lyrics by male artists or, when they're singing about or rapping about women, to me, it affects girls more negatively, if anything, hearing those lyrics, seeing the music videos, than seeing a music video or hearing a song from a female artist just claiming her own sexuality. So I know that is a very controversial opinion, but it's the truth. I feel like people need to hold the same energy for both. Either all these songs, no matter what gender you are, they're bad influence for our children, or, you know, the kids will be all right. And I promise you, the kids will be all right. Also, another thing we need to talk about is that these celebrities are not role models to your kids, okay? I don't see why you would ever think a celebrity who makes adult content, like adult songs and all this other stuff, have any obligation to tone themselves down for your kids. Does not make sense. The second thing that the documentary highlighted that I think we all need to think about is how the media shapes our perspective of these celebrities. So as you know, Britney Spears was going through some real stuff. You know, she was going through a divorce, she had 2 babies back to back, and she was fighting a custody battle. So who wouldn't be going through something when so much is going on in your life like that? But the media, like paparazzi, they framed it like she's just gone crazy, she's gone off the rocker. Also, while contributing to some of her mental health issues as well. You wouldn't, back then, like, I didn't even know Britney was going through anything. I just know that she shaved her head and everybody was calling her crazy. That's the only thing. And she's not the only woman who has gone through this. 2 women who pop up in my head are Lindsey Lohan and Whitney Houston. I have always been very into pop culture growing up, so I just remember always, like, hearing the media frame Lindsay Lohan like as a junkie and Whitney Houston as like a crackhead. And I think that is so unfair to the things that they were going through. Mind you, things like abusing drugs is a mental health disorder. It's called substance abuse disorder. You know, it's a real mental health issue. And instead of framing it in a way of more concern for these 2 women, people just kept framing it like, oh, well, they're helpless anyway. They, like, it's just like Britney Spears, like, oh, they're crazy. Just not showing them any type of empathy towards what they were going through, or even questioning why are they using drugs? Because often enough, it could be because usually when people have substance abuse disorder, it could be because of trauma, or it could be because of other mental health issues like anxiety and depression. And nobody asks those questions. Everybody just wants a story. The media not only desensitizes these things, but over sensationalizes them for a story. And we're part of the problem too. We eat this up. We don't sit and think like, oh, why is this person going through this? No, we are just like, we just agree with what we're being fed. And I think we need to stop. And I think we really need to analyze why we're seeing certain behaviors in certain celebrities. And the last thing that this documentary highlighted is how we can bully women for not fitting into our idea of perfect. So when Britney Spears was going through all this, there was an episode of Family Feud where the question was, what did Britney Spears lose this year? And the answers were like, she lost her sanity, she lost her kids. It's just very personal things that just punch below the belt, you know? She became a punchline, and just, it's really just shoving somebody when they're already down. Another celebrity I'd like to talk about is Jesy Nelson, a former member of the group Little Mix. She had been bullied from the time she debuted in the group, and it was because of her body. She was body shamed. She had people calling her fat and all these other things that affected her mental health so much that she contemplated committing suicide. And it's just, I just don't think it's fair to be so harsh and bully people because they're different or they don't fit into what we deem in society as perfect. And that leads me into my next point about how we can start practicing empathy for these women in the public eye. First, it's by realizing that we have this really bad problem of putting unattainable standards on women. So for example, it's like for women, you have to be sexy, but oh no, not too sexual. You have to be skinny, but not too skinny. Thick, but thick in all the right places. Oh, and if you're beautiful and kind of perfect, then you can't be too beautiful and too perfect, or else you get labeled as either a boring Mary Sue type character, or on the other end, intimidating. And I just, like I said, I don't think it's fair, and I will straight up say that I don't think men are put under the same scrutiny, especially being, and these even still come into factor just being a regular woman. So I couldn't imagine being a woman constantly in the public, constantly having your whole body scrutinized, analyzed by so many different people. And the second thing I think we need to realize to practice empathy is that we need to stop thinking as celebrities as things, and yes, I said things, that are just meant to entertain us, that are just meant to play ball or just to sing or just act on TV, and that they should stay in their place. No, we need to start thinking of them as human beings with real lives and real emotions. And I know some people are going to say, well, why should I have so much empathy for people who have so much more money than me? You know, if I had all this money, I'd be happy. And I just think people have to realize two things. A, that with that money, they had to give up their freedom. Like, I might not have as much money as these celebrities, but I know at the end of the day, I can do almost whatever I want without somebody always looking over my shoulder and breathing down my neck. And I don't think people realize how much your freedom really means to you. When you can go out your house and not have paparazzi taking pictures of your every move, when you can go out and not having people always taking pictures and filming you. I don't think people understand what losing that kind of freedom means. I don't even understand it, but I know personally I would not want that to be my life. And secondly, you have to realize that some of these celebrities were more forced into this line of work. You can't be mad that somebody's making all this money when they were forced into this as little kids and they became the breadwinner for their family. I remember I was watching something about Jeanette McCurdy and how her mom kind of pushed her into acting, and how she was the one, you know, she felt a lot of responsibility to keep doing it because, like, this is what was providing for her family. And I'm pretty sure for a lot of childhood celebrities, they probably had a lot of pressure to provide for their families. And I just think that what else do you want them to do, you know? So I think we just need to kind of change how we think about that. And even though these people are living the glam life and have all this money at their dispense, they still too also deserve empathy. So honestly, I hope today's video made you kind of think more about how we view people in the public eye, especially particularly women, and how we view them and the pressure that we put on them. And I can honestly see moving forward, I think this generation and this era in pop culture, I feel like we are being more empathetic towards and sympathetic towards these women. We are starting to realize that the pressure that these women have been under, and we're starting to really focus on their mental health, and we are actually moving towards a better place on understanding that celebrities are going through real stuff and that they're real people. So I hope we can just keep moving in that progressive way, just actually seeing them as people and just providing as much support as we can. That was today's video. Again, if you like this type of content, let me know below in the comments. I am happy to talk about it, and like I said, I am a proud feminist, so talking about things like this I think are very important, because we need to normalize just letting women be, you know? Just let women be. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and like this video. Until the next video, I'll see you then. Bye.